Good evening. This is Fari Hemzi. It's about 5:06 p.m. on Thursday, November 21st, 2019. We are Admiral, better known as Mark Esposito, is with me. We're going to do a quick webinar on OTF Lite. As you know, we rely quite a bit on audio video to do our documentation, make it interactive, give you guys a chance to have Q&A, go over some basics and so forth. This is an idea he and I were throwing around for a couple of weeks, and he'll get into more of that in a short order. And then one Sunday, I said, I think we've had a couple of days, things are okay, why don't we get it started? Obviously, some of the pages were not ready. We actually took existing product, converted it to this so that we don't have to build everything from scratch. Programming-wise, would take a lot longer. And so if there were some inconveniences, I apologize. I'd say from yesterday morning, we've been pretty stabilized. We've had, that's on the website. On the operational side, we had a problem on TweetDeck, I'm sorry. And of course, we were doing both emails and Twitter, and it was just being a nightmare. Problem was we didn't have people on both. We had too many people on different platforms, either Twitter or on email. We have consolidated that as of tonight. I'm happy to report to you that even though we only seeked about 25 to 30 people, so that's statistically a valid sample for this beta test, 135 have shown up. We've had 2 people who left. This wasn't for them. So net we had 135, of which 120 are on email now as of this afternoon. So we have 15 people we don't have. So quickly, I'm going to go over some operational stuff before we open it to Q&A for trading, okay? Regular trading hours. Admiral, please jump in if I get out of line or something that you see it's not what we agreed to. It's been a blur for me last few days. We do not trade at nighttime. We trade only ES. The purpose of this package is exactly what it is. Using technology of OTF, which is other time frame, which is based on detecting block size of large players. We're looking for the whales. Mom and pops don't move the market, whales do. And this is a little bit slower. It gives you one asset, and you don't have to interpret the chart. You don't need the Skype. You don't need the V3 on the cloud. Our biggest issue was technology. We have a lot of people who come in, and they just could not handle the technology part, even though they were decent traders. And we understand that. We had a hiccup with Microsoft that was a disaster for about 3 or 4 hours, about 2-3 months ago. And it got resolved. It had to do with their some sort of attack that was involved, and like half of their cloud servers were down, which is a huge thing for them. We were susceptible to that. Here, we're actually dumbing it down in terms of technology. Not dumbing it out for you guys, but dumbing it down for technology, for usage. You can see how immediately you could be in. Get on the Twitter. Here's our Twitter. OTF Lite. Obviously, it's secure. I understand that. You come in, you join, and we're actually been approving everybody. Okay, what is this? There we go. 2 people are coming in now. What is it? No? Okay. There's a little bit of a glitch with trace. Oh, there we go. No, these are new. No, they are. No, I think improved them. No, they're already in. Yeah, there's a glitch there on the account. It goes up. But not, people haven't left other than they've emailed me and told me what was wrong. And there was a lady. She want to just trade spies. She know we're trading futures. And another gentleman, his hours doesn't match. Anyhow, our goal is to give you a trade, 1 trade a day, maybe 2. Okay. Well, our goal is to give it to you early in the day. So Admirals opens up with the 2 bands, and we're going to get into that. The upper band and lower band and areas of interest. Obviously, that in itself is subject to change. We'll show you what happened yesterday. We had to change that. Why? Market changed. Sunland was speaking, so it was a very different market than normal. We do have some noise in this market. That's making it a little bit more difficult. This whole year has been that way because every time somebody gets into a corner, he or she, I should say that way to be non-partisan, it tweets out there about China all of a sudden, either hope or disaster. So it's become difficult, but we're trying to make it in the meat of the problem, meat of the hours in terms of where the move is. And typically, let me bring you a simple chart. Okay, here's your what do you call it, IB levels. So if I open this up and I shrink this, what we're trying to do is try to get you in this area in or out, long or short. I'm sorry, this area. Early part, long or short. Of course, you see the news there. Mainly here, actually. Long or short here, depending how it works out. And then we also want to be in this part of the market toward the end. Yesterday, 2 of our trades missed because A, technology, B, it just didn't feel right, and there was just even though I closed that, not Admiral, I closed it early, my bad. It went to my number. I went in and out at BE. I wasn't willing to take a third loss, and then it shut up. Went to exactly the number he was talking. I'm sorry, the number he was talking about here. So, goal is to bring you early, give you 1 trade, maybe 2, no more than that. This is not high frequency trading. Notice we have dropped HFT out of it. Okay. Cutoffs are 3:30 p.m. Eastern. All of our times are Eastern, okay? We made a mistake. We put a CT in there. We're going to make sure, because all of our servers are Eastern, we want to stay with that. 3:30 is bottom of the last H hour. We are not going to initiate a new trade. We're not. We will manage existing trade, but we will not. If we have one leg open, we're going to cancel that leg. But we're going to initiate, if we have a trading stop, if we have a absolute stop, and an absolute target, those will manage into end of the last hour. Why? This is what we call HR, because HR is a military stuff. Means that the time the attack starts. I'd like to do it with my last name, by the way. But that, because we need to manage that. It's something we need to do, okay? Moving forward, let's see. Okay, password link. I'm reading some questions back to you guys because some of the emails we got. I'm going to go over that. Let me go to log in. There we go. Here's your password link. If you've been a customer here before, a client here before, because we provide so much, I'm sorry, we're going to do so much on Twitter for the activity of the day that's crucial. We're noticing some people are on AOL, some people are on Yahoo, and so our servers have issues with getting to them. We're updating our server, but that's not in place yet. We're finishing it up, a different machine, parallel to this, but until I'm comfortable and test it a little bit, we're not going to switch over. That being that, most likely we'll not have a problem we have now, but AOL, Yahoo, we have a problem with. And then a couple of Bow Wow names. So those we have to send out to you from our Gmail. So if you get a Gmail email from us, which is forward from HA email, that says hamzinalytics.gmail, that's because your email is having some issues. I'm usually trying to resolve. Today we solved one of them. So, but if you are getting our emails, you can communicate with us. But you've been a customer before, but you forgot your password. Here's your link. Forgot password right there. You click on that, and you have to put your email in, and it brings you back. If you have more than 1 or 2 emails, remember, most likely it's your PayPal email, because that's the one we work with. Now, comment about that. Can I have another email in? Whatever, as long as it's on your PayPal. Why? We lease to you what's called vaporware. We're not delivering anything. PayPal, because to make sure it starts from eBay, they want to make sure everything is kosher. For doing that, they want to make sure there's delivery. Where our delivery to you is emails or a tweet or whatever. So, but we have to serve the email account that paid us. So if you want to change that, you send us $1, we refund you, and we move the stuff over. Okay. So that's our bounce back email. And again, what matters is your PayPal primary. If you don't change your PayPal primary and keep us sending $1, that doesn't solve it. Some people don't want to change their PayPal primary. Okay, then forward it. Okay, we're going to send it to your PayPal email. You put a little forward, and send it to the email you want. All right? I'm almost done here. Okay, there's a question today from a gentleman in New York. Upper East Side, 1%er. Okay, guess what? Let's make this fun. He's a 1%er living on the East Side. I know his account side. Trust me. What platform do you think he's trading on? Any ideas? Any ideas? Guess what platform he works on? And he's got a price issue. Guys, there's a chat on it there. You can write it back to me. Can you guys hear me okay? Hello, 1, 2, 3. Ameritrade, bravo. Ray, how did you know? He's on 3D Ameritrade. And he says, how come the futures are different? I said, listen, we use cloud, Microsoft Cloud. We use the Skype. We have no latency. I have people who use it on the floor. There's no latency. He's using Ameritrade. So platform you use is important, yes. And he's using it on his phone. Please don't trade on your cell phone. Please. What we do here, I do everything here is optical. 500 megabit up, 500 megabit down. Yes, I have a laptop, but I don't trade with that. I just browse something with it. Okay. I don't use my phone for trading. Okay. That makes a little bit difference. Now, also, emails takes a little bit delay. That's why we want to do it on the, what do you call it? On the we want to do it on the Twitter for you. Okay. And Twitter is uniform. As long as you have an account there, you get it. Let's see, my last question. No, that's not done. Okay. Free trials. We are not into the business of having too much tire kickers around. They don't solve any problem. They actually create some. If you've done 3 free trials with us, you're capped with no purchase. Okay, we're just not into try. We want people to actually trade, value what we're giving them, and give us a little feedback. We're not charging anything until January 1st. There's a gentleman who just signed up. He paid full price. I understand that. Appreciate it. But we really all we want some feedback from you. But if you have a history of being a tire kicker, there are like 3 or 4 of them, we've written to them. Limit is 3. This time you're in, fine, no problem. But no mas. Okay, no more. With that, I'm done. Oh, Twitter handle. When you come here to log in, I'm sorry, let's log in. This is the last item I'm going to tell you, then we're done. We made a change. I want to go over that. Here's your landing page. If you have only one product, you're going to land right here. Okay? If you have more than one, you would have a view. For example, you have PBT. I'm sorry, OTF. You have PMT. You will go to different packages. It shows up like this, right? It's got logic built in depending what package you have. If you have one, you just go there. But if you're there, you just click this twice. It brings you back to this area. There's a review or review my account. I can't open this because you're going to see my password. Or same thing here, profile on our service. When you click that, it allows you what your area is. In that area, there's a Twitter handle. Go to Twitter handle, put your Twitter handle in there because then you need to come and register. Why are we doing that? Because this takes you there and you just add. Usually you won't see this because you're not joined yet. It'll give you a link for you to request following. You click that, we approve you. But we need your handle there. Why? We want to make sure that you're a valid member here. Why are we doing that? When you cancel or we get to end of the free trial, we will eliminate people who do not have a handle on on our system, and if they don't have a valid subscription in a reverse lookup. So your handle is important. Now, one thing we changed, that's the only thing I'm going to say, I'm done. We used to have you drop the @ sign. A couple of persons came to me, they were right, we were wrong. We do believe in publishing corrections, like some other news services out there. The @ sign is a part of this, the legal or traditional Twitter handle. So @ sign is included. So please, add your @ sign in front of it. If you already have an account with us, we already did that software-wise. And we're going to get to a point if somebody forgets, he'll add it, but we haven't put that mod yet in programming. But please add your @ sign, go in there. Why? Because that's what we have to put in to do a reverse lookup to approve you. If it's not there, it just take us longer. We have to send you an email, ask you for that. So with that said, Admiral, I'm done with the operational issues. Price is going to be $250, not $200. I'm sorry. The demand is just incredible. As a matter of fact, one of the guys just laughed at me. He says, "You're nuts." I said, "Well, we're trying to just get a bearing, and the price is going to be $250 as of January 1st. All right. With that said, Admiral, can I read to you, Admiral, some questions that Ziriad put on? By the way, you're going to see on the postings, should be SZ actually. No, actually, he's right. What am I saying? SC, Ziriad, he's right. Sorry. Ziriad Saeed, I think it is. He worked for Microsoft. He lives down in Singapore in Trump Tower. Yes, he cashed out very nicely. And then he's got a place in South of France. He travels back and forth. He's a whiz kid. Yeah, at a very young age, he cashed out. He's done very, very well. He's a very good trader. He trades probably, I'd say, 3 out of the 4 fractals we have. By the way, we're using OTF fractals for you, the high end. Again, the technology is too much. We're trying to make it simpler for you. Anyhow, that's right. So when you see ZS, that means he posted it. But yesterday we had an issue. This was me. There was no dash. Admiral usually won't get a chance to post on the Twitter. He's just doing the understanding the logic, doing his work on TradeStation and Interactive, and coming up with our levels. Okay, so it's a teamwork. Me, actually Admiral first, Ziriad, and then me. I'm doing a mop-up, and then at the end of the day, I'll do an email for you. So we're trying to really clean it up. There was a little bit too much we did. We got into some trouble. We're not going to be doing that. And then, but here's what's being posted. A lot of time, Admiral writes in the chat room. It's copied that way. If we do anything, it's for brevity, just to clean up, or because he may be in a rush. Though he runs a decent sized fund, I got to make sure that we can keep securing his services, given who he is and what he has done and his trading prowess. So we keep his tasks low, but Zirad and I back him up. Now, tomorrow I won't be here. I have a friend that's going to do a laser surgery in Fort Lauderdale. I have to drive him there. It's outpatient. Drive him there early in the morning. I'll leave here at 6 tomorrow and come back late evening because I have to drive very slowly when I'm back. That's some sort of laser stuff they're doing. But anyhow, Admiral will be here. Ziad will be here. No emails. He's got access to emails too, but for now, tomorrow would be just Twitter, and then we'll catch up. Last but not least, we also do a performance setup, and you've been getting that in the emails. Hold on. And that's this. And then we're moving. I don't like the way this is shaping up. The lines I don't like. This is Google Docs. We're sharing it. Again, Zirad is a Microsoft whiz. We're going to be doing it on OneDrive Microsoft. He's already set up the page. By next week, we'll be on OneDrive. You get it at the end of the night. We're very transparent. We weren't happy to discuss any of these trades. And you'd see actually yesterday, we had 2 winners, but we could not monetize it because technology-wise, we didn't get to it, so we didn't take credit. We're not worried about it. We know the technology. We know what we have done. And they've given now 3 people on it with experience on OTF. Zirad has been with us on OTF pretty much, I think, 2 months after we launched it here in Florida on the relaunch. Now it was in Chicago. Chicago was very primitive. Once we launched it, for 2 months later, he joined. He's been with us steady. Of course, Admiral is one of the people who pushed me to do OTF. So technology to him, this technology, in terms of trade technology, it's a must. Admiral, I talk too much. It's yours. Where would you like to start? Should I start on the questions for you?
No, I'd like to just briefly say something, explain simply what we're doing and the purpose of what we're doing. And obviously, it's all relative to what you've created over multiple years of a lot of hard work. And you could look at the screen, you see he's got the fractals for the E-minis, the ESZ19. And all those fractals are the different time frames of a streamer that's taking those time frames of what the trading activity is of the E-mini.
May I correct something?
Go ahead.
It's not time frame. It's block sizes.
Block size. So he talks about
different size hedge funds. Yeah. It's not
talks about
time stuff. Yeah.
So when Fari started trying to build this, we chatted and we talked about what works. And being an old option trader on the floor of the CBOE, in those days you had only one exchange, one pit where all the paper traded. So if Goldman Sachs came into the Merck pit and wanted to trade Merck, the drug stock, and he wanted to trade a particular call or put, prior to all the dual, triple, quad, all the way up to 11 exchanges, now listings, that trade could only take place in the pit of the CBOE in Chicago. And you knew what Goldman Sachs was doing. It was very easy to get an understanding of, is he a buyer, a seller? What's his take on the stock? And obviously, historically, you would know which firms were reputable, where you'd want to do what they're doing or try and do it better. And then there were firms which weren't reputable and you take the opposite side. Well, as time evolved and all the exchanges and all the technologies came to fruition and all the exchanges decided that we needed all these multiple listing exchanges, what happened is you created volumes coming from all over the United States from all the different exchanges. However, they all have to go and they all have to report that all that activity in options through Opera, and obviously with the stocks through NASDAQ and the NYC and the other larger stock exchange, and obviously the futures, they have to go through the CME. Therefore, the fact that you could see what the volume is at the prices, you know what the footprint is of all these transactions. So the key is to grab the footprint of those players of consequences, meaning size, and then watch their trail they're creating as they go through the trading day. And that's what Ferry created as far as technology, is to take that footprint and he's putting it right in front of you. And we're seeing what the big players do. And that's the most important part, because what we want to do using the technology is we want to just go along for the ride and pick up a little crumb here and there and be in the right direction. This is what the streamers and the fractals do for us. So the next question was, okay, we tried to get people to subscribe to Fari's website, OTF, learn it. A very long, arduous process if you're not of any experience in trading. Very difficult to do. Those that have a trading background have signed up, learned, and done extremely well. But then there's a huge forum out there that doesn't have the ability to put the time, the effort, or they don't have that trading experience, but they would like to be a part of it, and they'd like to make a few $100 a week extra without doing a lot. Well, this is where the OTF Lite concept came to fruition as to what we could try and do. So basically with Fari's technology, me devoting as least amount of time that I can to it, however, reading the footprints and reading some other proprietary stuff that I look at, put out there an opportunity to buy and or sell at different levels that I think are extreme levels in the market, so that you're not going to be high frequency trading, buying and selling, trying to trade every news event or trying to trade every part that you see on the technology. I'm looking for those areas that are an expanded area that creates either a strong support buy or an expanded area that has tremendous resistance. Why? Because those areas to me are going to give you a higher probability of, on the downside, support where you can buy it and it'll bounce, or on the upside you can sell it and it'll retreat. And what we're looking for is opportunities to pick up not 20, 30 handles. We want to make 4, 6, 8, maybe even 10 handles if we get lucky, because we're picking the right spots. So what I'm doing in the morning is I'm looking for those precise areas that I think are the expanded areas of a support and a resistance based upon what I'm looking on the streamers and the OTF fractals. And I'm interpreting what those areas would be for someone to go in and buy or to someone to go in and sell. So in the morning, after I see the market open up and we see how things are acting, and we make sure there's no big news event there that could create the volatility, even though we have Mr. Trump always sending something in a tweet that creates that, like they've done the last 2 days. We're going to try and find those areas that are important for you to be able to put on a contract, however, to the discretion of your capital and obviously your discipline, where you want to buy and sell, and then that'll be posted on the tweet deck, and you'll be able to see where we're buying, where we're selling. I always put stops in there, because the goal for this is to make an entry, not take a lot of risk if we're wrong, because we're not always going to be right. The goal is to try and get the probability, into like the 70 to 80% range, which would be very nice. But we are going to be wrong, and if we're wrong, we're going to not let our losses run. We're going to stop them out and go for another trade when the opportunity presents itself. The thing to remember most about this is that we're trying to make this as easy for you to enter positions, because I'm giving you entry points that you could put on, and they aren't necessarily going to be transacted in some days. They may not be. As long as there's a view that allows an opportunity, that's what we will send out in the tweet and post for an opportunity to put on a trade that has a high probability of succeeding. Once we do have a trade, we will then give you an exit for a profit. And that exit will be what we think is the most advantageous for you to secure the profit. And every trade will have a stop when it says an entry. You'll see buy ES to open at a number, and then right after that, comma, stop, sell to stop at X. That will be every trade entry that you see. Once we have a position created, be it long or short, I will let it look at the streamers, look at the fractals, look at my information, and then we will post where you would be as far as taking the opposite side to take a profit. Now, these are levels that I'm putting out there that are a little more exaggerated than someone that's very actively trading. But for the most part, you'll see that a lot of these areas are very good as far as a support and resistance level. Sometimes I can't pinpoint it 100% by what I post, but you'll see that we're always very close, if not hitting it on right on par. Take that into consideration when you're putting in your buys based upon those levels. If you feel you have a trading acumen that you understand the marketplace and you want to try and get in very close or a little earlier, that's your discretion, not mine. If you want to do the same thing when you have a position on to take a profit, if you don't want to make it go for a total profit that I have out there and you want to take it off for less, that's fine too. I have no problem with your discretion based upon your capital, based upon your disciplines. Remember, what we're trying to do is give you a understanding by what we post as opportunities so that you don't have to spend the time throughout the day looking and interpreting what the market's doing, what it's going to do, or trying to understand the technology that is creating where these trades are derived from. And I've explained to Fari that I thought he's put so much of his life into this that this is a product that I think a lot of people would be excited about, because if you get a tweet that tells you to buy this, sell that, and you put it in the market with the stop, you know what your risk is. At the same time, you've got a profit possibility that could be obviously much greater than the risk that you're doing on the stop. And at the same time, what's most important is you are not putting a lot of your time into this, not a lot of your day into this. This is something you could have on your phone and you see the tweets when the alert comes. Here's an order entry. If we get filled, your phone's going to tell you got filled, and then we're going to give you an exit. Pretty simple, so you don't have to change your routine throughout a day, with an opportunity, I hope, for there to be maybe a possibility of maybe making, anywhere from $400 to maybe $1,000 a week if we're good. And that's not bad for the $250 a month for this. And remember, it's not one of these technologies that or concept that we're creating that's going to be very avid for you to constantly be trading. Okay, let's do more. It's not for that.
No, exactly.
It's not for that for many reasons. I don't have the time to devote to doing all that type of trading, and Fari doesn't have the time to devote to that, and Zariad's got other things to do as well. We are putting out there what we think are the highest probability trades to be winners, and that's the purpose of this.
Admiral, this week,
that's really the bottom line.
That two trades of ours were just technology issues. One of them was TweetDeck. Going through TweetDeck right on Twitter direct caused a havoc at that point. It normally doesn't. It went to 397, and I wasn't at my desk. I was stepped out, talked to CTO Larry Brown because we had an issue on the front end. Here's the thing. This week we started really good, but then we had a couple of technical issues. Twice we did not get filled at all. Look at our performance. We're very transparent. You see it every night. Here's our table there, and oops, let me go back here. There we go. Here we go. Okay. We 2 days we did not get filled at all. We just kept so close, but Admiral was very disciplined. It just didn't get filled. We had nothing. Two of these trades were winners. We just could not monetize it with you. And we were doing one mistake too. We're sending it to. I knew, my gut feel knew. In aggregate, we have too many people on email, too many people on Twitter, but there's an area in between where there's no overlap. Okay, so we had to send to both groups. I put my foot down last night. I said, no mas. We're going to consolidate, clean everything. We're going to go Twitter only. This is fast. Email after hours. And there was a number of people actually came and suggested that too. Well, I agree with them. I said, you're absolutely right. We're going to stick with Twitter. We're going to get to you, and then we're not doing not through TweetDeck, but regular Twitter.com. But no email. Yesterday I traded nothing for my own fund. Nothing. I could not. Why? We were stuck with it. This email, that email, front end was a problem. This is our first week really operational. That's why it's called a beta test. I hope most of you did not trade and just watched it. And now next week is going to be partial week, what have you. We don't know, but we'll see. Give us a chance. You'll see how this is normal for us. This sort of thing. This is what we should be expecting from us. One trade, boom, hits it, and we're good. And then we'll go forward. Now tomorrow I'm not going to be around, but Admiral will trade. Zirad will be here. They don't have to do emails. Zirad run all the trades today. I sat there, make sure he does it. I've also got Nancy on the servers. We're good. But then I'll be back Monday, and then we're back to normal operation. All right. Admiral, do I see anything other question? There was a couple of questions that Zirad put on there. May I ask you that? You could be, if you address them, probably would be really good for everyone. What is risk reward? What's a de facto rule if if the connection latency after a trade is triggered? So if I get the notice a little bit later from you, Admiral, should I be jumping into a trade or not?
If the level is still at our levels, or obviously within a point of our levels, I think you'll be okay. Because obviously we're looking to try and capture a trade that's going to give us 4 or more handles.
Okay.
So that opportunity still avails itself. If it's a long time since the trade was initiated and we triggered our trade,
right, triggered.
I would stay away, because if it hasn't already started to move in our direction, more than likely I'll either have to close the position on for a scratch, or if it doesn't stop out the wrong against us, maybe I will just scratch it and move on to the next trade.
Okay, just to be clear, guys, this is how we have operated. Here's the open, right? Just look at the timestamp. These are all Eastern. They're coming from my machine here, so they're Eastern. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's coming from. Yeah. So it's Eastern. It's coming in. All right. Now, actually, that was Zirad, but Zirad set it to Eastern. Then we get filled. You get another message. It says triggered. Now we're in. This should be your stop. If there's any change from Admiral by then, you will reflect that. But no, we're in. Then it's triggered, and then we got stopped out. Guess what? That was here. That was 394 right there. Actually turned out to be the low. So I put a trade on right at 95, but I did not reflect it there. Why? I was doing it discretionary here, not for you guys. But that's how we've tried to get it managed for it to be small. Question. This is a. Let's see. Can I use a trading stops instead of a one stop limit? Admiral?
When you're putting in different types of stops,
right?
The bottom line is that anybody that's trading, and I've said this in every webinar that I've been a part of, or any educational function that I've participated in. You have to know what your capital is, therefore you know what your risk limits are. Okay, you base your decisions on your discretion of your discipline and capital. Every individual is different. So if you want to do a trailing stop because you're comfortable with it and you've had success with it in the past and your capital allows you to do that, that's your choice. I basically put out something that's very, very generic. Here's a buy. I'm basing the stop. When I put out a stop, it's not based on totally capital. It's based upon levels that I feel if my number is traded through either on the downside or the upside, and now my trade is not looking good, I want to make sure that I'm not letting it run too far as the loss is concerned. And I'm looking at the levels that I think that if my trade that's now a loser goes to another level, if it possibly breaks that next tier level, then we're really in trouble. So I want to make sure that I'm putting stops to protect against that. So that's what I use for my criteria for stops. It's based upon another level that I think might be dangerous, that if we don't get out, we could feel some pain because we've held on too long. And that's also for the upside as well as the downside. And that's how I base the stops on. It's not so much a mathematical function of the handles or the dollars or even the capital. I'm basing that on what I think are risk zones. And as individuals, if my risk zones, let's say my stop is 4 or 5 handles, and you're not comfortable with that, and you want to take 3 handles, take 3 handles. You got to remember, the market opens every day, and there always will be another trade. So don't think you missed anything. You're going to have so many opportunities. We're going to create so many opportunities for you that if you miss one, you're going to start to understand what works best for you, how to manage what works best for you in this whole process of what we're doing, and you'll find a comfort level with how you do it, and that'll be your success.
Folks, this is the type of education I was getting from Marcus Rosito at the summer of 2008. I just arrived, wet behind the ears, from Los Angeles to Chicago, and then the financial crisis hit. And was what education. What education. But the key thing is what you just said earlier in that sentence, that paragraph. There's a market every day at 8:30 Central Time. So if you missed it, just make sure your losses are small. Stop, and there's a tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. Keep your ammo dry.
Yes, the most successful traders are those traders that have discipline and know what humility is. And the best traders I've ever talked to or seen are the traders that know how to take a loss, not know how to take a win, not how to take a profit. The trader that could take a loss and move on are the best traders in the market.
Admiral, we have 2 questions. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. There are 2 questions out there. I'm going to read them out to you. But there's from John and Ray, but let me do Ray's question first, a little bit easier. Okay. How late would you have taken the 313 short today, for example? Hold on, let me go this. 313 short. So let me make sure we understand that. Yeah, this was the levels we posted, right? This is the open posted. We posted this a little bit after the open. We usually do it a little bit before, but there's no fast and hard rule. It's the issue of what's coming ahead of us, especially news driven. He and I confer a few times before the open. I'm usually at my desk around 8ish. Today was earlier because of the interview, but Admiral is always here at 7:38. But we spend time. He's the king of prep time. He preps a lot. Maybe preps too much, but that's his own style. To each to his own. Here's his buys levels. Here's his sell level. As it stands, remember, OTF is looking at where the large traders have done recently, okay, by block size. So by morning time, a lot of overnight is done. Hong Kong is done, and Frankfurt, New York, London is done. So I don't mean Hong Kong. I meant Shanghai, Tokyo, and Hong Kong is done. Of course, Hong Kong is in the mess right now. But then the next big one is Germany, Frankfurt, and FTSE. And then we get to New York. As we get to New York, he's got a good feel. Today was a little bit after that. It's 9:58 Eastern time. Okay. Now the question from Ray is, how late would you have taken the trading short today, for example?
So go to my. I'll answer it. Go to my tweet where I gave the market overview.
Okay, there we go. Here's the tweet. We do share this too, by the way.
So I felt that the market was heavy today because of all these unknowns that are out there. And until we get a little more decisions that are definite, you're not going to see the market make one of these big impulsive moves to the upside. And if you let's look at the OTF fractal to the right, the 4th frame, Ferry.
There you go.
This one where the mouse. If you look to the right here, you can see this range in here.
Yep.
This range in here, not the 31.15, but just a little bit below it. That's 31.13.
Right.
Yeah. So that's 31.13. So I would maintain that 31.13 area until, you know, the market shows the ability to have strength, which means to try and power itself through, obviously, the median, which is the yellow, the MBS, which is the gray. And then at the same time, you see we got a lot of consolidation up here in these bars here. It's got to get through there to even start to attack this area up here, which is all the way to 31.15. And if you look at my tweet, I'm a seller at 13. If you look at my tweet, I'm a stop at 16. Because if we go through here, okay, and it does not back off, and it goes to 16, it's going higher.
Yes.
So let's get out, take our $150 and pick another trade.
Right.
So until the pulse of the market changed, there was no reason to give up that sell side trade. And even during the day, I had considered moving down to make another sell and editing this amount, this price at 31.13, bringing it down a couple times during the day, which if I would have done that, they would have been right. One was an area where the Fari thought was a sell, which was on the way up to the MBS at 31.02. To the right there, over to the right. It came up, it popped up, and then it came right back down. He was right about that. And then later in the day, there was an area at 31.09, 31.08, which ended up being a good area. So, you know, we will edit and change prices with the market dictating that, and also all the events of the day and news that's out there, and also the time of the day to give a better opportunity.
Admiral, I think it also means time of the day. We will not entertain the trade coming in a half hour. We will only manage it. So as gets close, as a matter of fact, you'd see, that's another type of a tweet we say. Right here. Cancel all open orders. And if I do a click on this, you get to see the actual timestamp. It was 3:42. Now that went just a tad later than normal. But 3:30, 3:35, we're not allowing any new trades go in. Here's the problem. I know it works until 4:15. I know there's probably a good move that last 5-10 minutes. What we call Newman trade. Okay, Newman's big. Remember Seinfeld? I understand that. But then what if we get stuck between 4 o'clock to 4:15 Eastern time? Are we going to babysit this in the afternoon or evening with you? No, we're not. No, you can't either. It's a long day. Guess what? The moves are very small. It's not worth it. You ruin your next day too. So we had to make a decision. We said, okay, for this product, for this service, 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Chicago is our cutoff. If we have anything open, we'll open orders. Okay, we'll cancel. I mean, I should say open entry orders. Or buy or sell to open. Yeah, open. Right. Actually, yeah. It doesn't mean that they're open, but all two open orders. Yeah. Buy or sell to open.
Not filled. Orders not filled.
Yeah. But not exits. This is not exit. Yes. We'll manage exit for you. If you're long or short during that. As a matter of fact, here's the issue. That's a good point Admiral brought up earlier. Hold on. This trade here, this trade right here, this trade was an absolute winner. This trade, except we didn't sit there long enough. We covered it. Okay, bad mistake. It went very up. Here's you'd see. I think it's the time frame. Actually, let me bring it to you off of this. It's much easier on this. You'll see. It did this all of a sudden. It actually went to 3109. That was our target.
Yes.
Right there, yeah. And you know what? But that's what we did, and we're going to be transparent. That's what happened. That's what you're going to get. Remember, we got people in the OTF room actually seeing this. So we're sharing with you, but other people are also actually trading their own account, including Zerat, including myself, including Admiral. So it's very, very transparent. Next, hopefully, Ray, that answers your question. Next question is from John. Again, guys, one more thing. Oh, let me address something else. Guys, Admiral or I, we're publishing a newsletter. If you think of it this way, it's electronic. We're not licensed. We have freedom of speech. We have First Amendment rights, but it's not unlimited. We can't say everything we want. It has some. There are some language or some clauses there that we have to respect to, which is, if you ask us a one-on-one question in a private setting, there's no answer from us. We just can't do it. Why? Because for us to get the First Amendment protection, it has to be recorded. Others have to be invited, whether it's pay or non-pay. They have a right to come in. If they don't want to show up, that's their own. But it's published. The event is published. For example, a chat room. Chat room is published every day. They know it's open every day. You come in. The webinar emails goes out to invite you. If it's a Twitter or it's an email, it goes to everybody. We have to speak with everybody at the same time. So if you send me a question or Admiral a question in writing, a specific trade, we will not answer you. We can't. Okay? We don't have a facility to share it with everybody else at that time. No. But if you come to these meetings or you're on Twitter, boom, of course. There's an issue, we handle it. Okay? Now, so here's a perfect time if you want to ask a specific question trade-wise, we can answer it. But please do not do it on email. Please, I got a phone call the other day. The guy has just signed up. He wanted me to take a look at on crude oil. Just don't do that with me, please. We're not doing. We're very focused on what we're doing. Let's just do a good job, quality job for all of you, rather than getting a sidetracked. Okay. Next question is from John Reynolds. Welcome, sir. And it goes like this: is the service technically driven? Any external catalyst, including like a FOMC day, as usually released at 1:05 p.m. Also, any other option-related products, equity options, or SPY? I'm sorry, or just a yes. Okay. In this product, Admiral, please correct me, but let me give a first answer. I'll give a simple answer. Admiral could expand on it a lot better than I can. This is just ES only. We have other products. We're not cannibalizing anything. That does the options. We have the PMT that does SPYs. We have an option service that does ETFs and options based on earnings that Nancy Scott, aka Airbus, she runs it. So, we have like 6-7 products. We have an indicator service. They're all interrelated, okay? And some of us shared our knowledge. When there's a question on option, for example, that I have or Nancy has, guess who do we go down to? Admiral, 27 years on SIBO, 12 years at single stock futures. If anybody, one of the original DPMs, he did the hybrid. He was part of the systems and the floor of procedures as a vice chairman. That means was elected by membership, not bureaucrats, not suits from Harvard Business School who run the operations now because they're public. Was actually when it was a partnership. So we go to him and ask. So we know we're focused here. It's very technically driven. It's actually, if you look at some of the stuff we do, for example, I'll give you a little glimpse of it. I track a lot of NQ. This is our DMZ indicator. It's called DMZ, has nothing to do with what I call it, Kim Jong-un, but it was actually put together right about between the back and forth. Trump and him were doing that, the romance. But basically, you want to be long above the green and red below and short below the red. Okay, and look at how colors stay the same, even though there are crossovers. Okay, and look at better than that. This is what Zirad contributed. I put that together. He says, "Farry, we should do a histogram. Look how these things changes, the colors." Okay, so yes, it's very technically related. We do a mix there? No. There's some blending, but do we look at FOMC? Absolutely. This is you can't survive in trading as long as we have without respecting the economic calendar. So obviously that's inbred in us. I mean, that's just, first thing we do, let's see. If I go to here, if I load, it goes to, actually economic calendars are, because we already have 2 of them open, but that's our default. Yes, we look at this quite a bit. And on Thursdays I have interviews, so I have to be very prepared for that, both what's coming ahead and what's coming early part of next week. So yes, we look at calendars. We do a lot of, Admiral is the king of volatility. What he was saying is proprietary stuff. I don't want to get into, but I will assure you a lot of it has to do with the smiley faces, your payoff curve and the volatility bands. And he's very, very good at it. I used to try to do the payoff curve on an Excel before I would be finished. You're done by hand. Okay, so no, there's a lot goes in there. As a matter of fact, that's why I think just the OTF alone is not enough. Just these levels alone is not enough. You need somebody like Admiral who's used it for his fun for several years now. Remember, 4 years in development, 4.5 years in Chicago. I left in 2015. We launched late 16 in this format here. We solved the issue we had with the real-time projection of these charts. Remember, you don't get these to run it on your machine. These are projected to you. We had delays on them. So we took us almost a year to figure out, went from 3 different services until finally we found our home, which is Skype for Business. Using that and also audio. So audio and video comes to you live. There's no propagation delay. Using that, he's been doing it for 2.5 years now. And according to him, it's one of the better tools he has had. So I said, okay, how do we monetize this for you guys? We have to make it simple. But listen, I have to deal with the support issues. They're tremendous. People have different machines, different hardware. We have had 2 guys recently who dropped out. Their Falcon was bad, Falcon computer. Tell me, why would you buy a computer twice the price of anything out there, and then it doesn't work? It can't handle Skype very well? We did a team viewer onto his machine. Prices were behind, and that's a Falcon. Okay, the guy's got money. He spends it. He understands the need for it, but he couldn't deliver. So we said, listen, make it simple. What's a common denominator? Twitter, email. And then we were doing them together because we have a dispersion of where people were. Last night I put my foot down. I said, we're not doing this. This is our first week. Okay, we can't keep on running around like this. We gotta calm down, focus it. I don't want to be a light bulb. I have to be a laser. And but we've done much better today. But what we did, we had 1 trade. Yeah, it stopped out, but it was only 1. It wasn't 3 like yesterday. And we didn't delays. I think one of the emails yesterday arrived 10 minutes after the tweet. That's not acceptable. So we don't need to do the email. But now we've consolidated everybody. We've moved everybody in the right spot. I had 4 more people while I'm talking to you. I've approved 4 more people on Twitter. So we found them. We got to them. We said, listen, guys, it's two leg of a problem. Some of the stuff we cannot put on Twitter. Twitter is fast. It's precise. You can get on the go. It's precisely made for that. But then I have to send you a spreadsheet. I can't do it on Twitter. So we need both, but you need to be in both of them. Now, we've been a little bit kind of relaxed about that. Wait until we get into a couple of more weeks from now. When things are really moving, I will tighten up. We have to, because we need to be efficient on your side and our side. Any other questions for Admiral or myself? Admiral, any comments from you, sir?
No, I think you summed it all up, and I think I just want to reiterate that this is just a service trying to be created to give people opportunity to make a few bucks without putting a lot of time and effort into it. Use it the way we described it. If you use it in another way, that's your discretion. But what we're going to try and do is be able to give you entry points through the Twitter, obviously with stops to protect your risk. And then obviously once we make entries and get in, we're going to give you profit targets to hopefully monetize a profit and try and create a lot of consistency in having more winning trades than obviously the stopped out trades.
Thank you all. We appreciate for attendance, and we wish everybody a great Thanksgiving. I'll be around Monday. I'll be up here very early tomorrow to make sure everything is going functionally fine. You'll be in good hands. Admiral knows the stuff better than anybody I know. Ziriad is very helpful. Nancy is around, so we should be fine. I'm only a phone call away. There's some parts on the alligator area probably don't want to stop, but I'll have my laptop with me if something comes up. But we've been at this rodeo many times. It should be fine. And then Monday back to normal. Obviously, Admiral, we're going to have a short day on Wednesday, right?
Day
before Thanksgiving.
I got to check the listings. It might be sometimes they surprise you and they give you 2 short days.
No, but I'm just saying that not necessarily schedule-wise, but volume-wise. It's got to be.
Oh yeah, volume very thin. You'll have some volatility because of that. So
I mean, block-wise. Remember, we're looking for blocks. If the boys are out there shopping on
Yeah.
at Saks Fifth Avenue, spending some of their billions. This stuff is not going to move much.
No, but with our dear president, if he starts tweeting on a very thin volume day, it may allow us to have some good opportunity because
Okay.
you see they may hit both the bottom green and the top red.
True. That's very true.
Yeah.
Larry, you're quite
All righty.
welcome. Says with regards to Captain. Yes, of course. Captain is doing very well. As a matter of fact, he's getting ready to get out of here. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for attending, sir. Robert, thank you so much. Again, have a great Thanksgiving. We'll arrange to have another one of these sometime in December, but we'll communicate with you on Twitter. We'll communicate with you email. Again, and please, Yahoo and AOL on the emails, we will send it to you, but that was another problem we had yesterday. It compounded our problems. They're going to be a little bit slow. Moving forward, thank you, John, of course, anytime. Moving forward, by January, when we go into really hardcore stuff, we really want everybody, and volume is back and so forth. Volatility comes back. You have earnings season. We will urge you, please, if we're getting a bounce back, you need to change your email at the PayPal level, and we'll show you how, okay? We'll show you how you can move that. Your primary has to change. You send us $1, we'll refund you. It's just that it has to trigger our system and grab your data. Remember, we don't create accounts. PayPal does. You send us $1, we give it back to you, but by then it grabs your information and then we set up your account over there. So if there's any of those, you would know by then. It's always good to have beta testing. It clears the air. You would know exactly what you're getting. We're not in a rush. The whole issue is we want to make sure it's a solid product as is intended. All right. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your attendance, and thank you for your patronage over the years. And this beta testing, you've given us already many feedbacks. We keep them coming. We are very, very open to constructive criticism. We appreciate that. Good evening, all. Admiral, thank you so much for your help. And
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon, sir.
All right.
Bye-bye now.
Good night, all.
Good night.